am Joe Vagnone, and I am here and have been all month with my co-host Mike Mooney, reputation crisis management expert. Man, are you needed today, Michael?
Good morning. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing great, buddy.
Awesome.
I want to tell you.
Tell me.
How much I really appreciate you taking the time to get up early in the morning.
It's early.
I know,
early.
And you travel all over the country, and I really do appreciate it. I get a lot of texts and
emails
and that sort of stuff telling me how much they really appreciate the advice that you give them. And I keep telling them, read his book. I mean, your book is phenomenal. Reputation Shift. You can go to MikeMooney.com, right?
That's correct.
I just and pick that book up, and I'm positive that it is something you will not want to put down till you finish the book. And I know that because if I'm a guy that read it from cover to cover,
and again, no pictures, nothing to color.
Right,
it was just straight up stories and lessons. But I appreciate it, Joe. This has been a great month with you. I mean, the work you're doing in the Vills is just fantastic. So thank you for letting me hop on the bandwagon for the month. This has been a lot of fun.
And so we really need you, right? You understand? We got ourselves a crisis in here, and I wanted to get your opinion on. Now, none of us business people would run in, at least I hope, would run into this Jesse
Smollett?
Problem.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting challenge, right? It is this interesting, and so I wanted to use it as sort of a sample to show people the skills that you possess, right?
Oh, man.
Okay.
Putting me right in the middle of it. I love it. Let's go.
We find ourselves in a situation self-inflicted.
Very much so.
It happens, right? You know what I mean?
It does. We're human.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've been here before, right? I remember there are times when I'm growing the business when I absolutely knew the moment that I was doing something that was right on the edge, right?
Yeah.
Then I got to correct it, and how do you correct this? So let's use Jesse as an example, but it's not that I really care about this guy, right? But it's a great opportunity for us to talk about us as small business people. We make mistakes.
Right.
What should we do about this?
So there's a lot to unpack with this, Joe. Clearly, we could do a whole show on this guy because of the lessons, and this is what I really am passionate about in the work that I get to do, which is taking examples like this and really drilling it down to Main Street to see, what is it that can we learn so we can be more proactive in how we are building, strengthening, and managing one of our greatest assets, our reputations. In this case, there are a couple of lessons that jump out to me. The first is that there's a time and a place. I got a lot of calls and emails and texts yesterday from friends and people saying, hey, if you were counseling him, what would you tell him to do right now? Right? And when I said there's a time and a place, the time is not now to think about reputation rehab. That is not what's happening right now. He is in the crucible of owning what he has done, owning his actions. So a couple of the key steps there are going to be first ownership. We've talked about this before on the show. Right? If you make a mistake, we get it. We're human. Now, in this case, this is magnified because of the fuel that he's poured on this racially charged, bonfire that's already dividing this great country, right? But in this case here, he's got to own it. Own not only the decisions, but his motives, his actions, not only publicly when the media ask him the tough questions, to be transparent and own it, but also in court.
So that's where I wanted to go with this.
Yeah.
So now you want us small business people, because keep in mind I'm putting this in a small business context.
Put it in that context.
You want us to say, yep, okay, I messed up. It was a mistake. Yeah. That's really hard to do. And remember, I'm probably saying that to somebody who I probably drug into this to begin with. He's going to say that to media people that he misled to begin with.
Absolutely. But again, the quote I love so much, Confucius, the three things you can't hide from, the sun, the moon, and the truth. Right? So here it is. Now you're confronted with the truth. You have to own it. You can no longer hide behind it and lie, because it's going to continue to diminish your credibility and your reputation for the long run. Okay, so how you act now in this crucible is going to help you out down the road. This is an issue for Jesse that's going to be lifelong issues, lifelong ramifications for him and his career, just like it could be for a business owner as well.
And what I like that you talk about in your book is that how he gets to handle this, the credibility that he has built up yesterday, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Will decide how I choose to accept what he does today, even if he does apologize and whatever
he
that
will.
is.
Exactly, he will. So after you own it, the next step in this is you have to apologize with radical transparency. Radical transparency. Enough of the lies. You've already betrayed trust, and there's been a violation created here that more lies are going to just continue to have you hit false ledges all the way down to the bottom. So you have to transparently apologize and acknowledge what you did and why you do it. Do not rationalize. We often fall into this thing of rationalizing why we did it in an apology. You can't do it.
You were headed right where I wanted to go. You a genius, I tell you, a genius. Does motive matter? So why he did this, does that matter, right? And even if it's a good or bad reason, do I need to hear that before I forgive him?
Well, it doesn't. People don't care. People are not going to care at this level of what he did or why he did it. I think it's important for people to understand what he was thinking around this. But that's not going to be a focal point of the apology. I think that then leads you into the rationalization part of it, and that's one of the points that I try to make in the book, is that we've got 3 survival skills. There's fight, flight, and rationalization. So in this case, don't rationalize. You can explain, this is what I thought I was doing and why I thought it was going to be of benefit, which people are going to say, I don't care at that point. But get it out there.
But if I do that, I'm going to look like really stupid. I really thought if I looked like I was being hung by a man wearing a mega hat, you guys would think I'm a good guy, and my Twitter feed would go up 10 million people.
He would think that he was drawing attention in his mind. And again, I don't know what was going through his head, but he's thinking, well, I can use my celebrity to draw more attention to this issue that's happening right now in our country, and I can then become a voice and a centerpiece to help drive more awareness.
You just gave him some good advice. Then he can apologize and say it worked the exact opposite.
And it was the opposite.
You a master. I tell you, a master.
Every once in a while, the blind squirrel and the nut. You find
Jesse, if you're listening, I got the repairman for you.
Right here. But here's the third part. Here's the third part that also has to happen. Get help. This didn't just happen because he woke up one morning and decided, hey, I can use this as a platform. There's something inside him that has to get fixed. Yeah.
You can't say, I can say, you can't say that.
Well, I can say that he's off. Hey, look, everyone's got their own, right? Everyone's got their own crazy.
Right.
Okay? But the point here is get help. Own it, apologize radically and transparently, get help. At that point, now you got to lay low. You got to separate yourself from the situation for a while. And for him, it may take a couple of years.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
When I read your book, page 23, remember that without information, media members, just like friends, colleagues, and competitors, are left to speculate. And this is the breeding around our rumors. Silence is never a good strategy when you are managing your reputation.
Absolutely right. So what I'm saying there, because I think I know where you're going with this, is you've already, in your ownership and your apology and the help you're going to get, you have explained the things that you need to explain to keep rumor and speculation out.
Got it.
All right. What he was doing on the front end when he didn't turn himself in, and business owners saying, hey, I'm not going to say anything about this. I'm going to keep quiet because I hope it's going to go away. That's where the rumor and speculation comes in. When you say nothing, when you don't address the issue at hand, that's when it becomes a bigger reputation issue. I'm saying that after you've owned it, apologized, and gotten the help, and you've had these conversations, you've talked to the media, you've explained what it is that's going on and why, now you need to start moving toward your next step of action, which isn't in the media, which isn't trying to continue to tell your story.
That's part of the getting help. That's why I can't talk about this, blah, 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 blah.
Or you can talk about the help he's getting and keep that going on, but it can't be about your issue.
Can I ask for family and friends to step up and vouch for my character, even though I know they're going to take a hit, or is that unfair to do? Like, he's got some friends in the media. Last night, I just happened to watch them, and they were doing their best to try and say something about a friend of theirs.
Soften the blow.
Right.
And
Is that unreasonable for me if I've got a business challenge and I know that I have another either business owner or maybe even an employee? Is that fair to ask them to help me, or am I putting them in a position that is inappropriate?
That's a great point. That gets back to the bank of you. And, making more deposits over time and relationships with people. So when you do need it, they will stand with you because they know truly who you are. That's going to be a personal decision at that point. You could say, I could use your help. More importantly, you'd hope that you've built up a relationship where they say, what can I do to help you? And at that point, yes, you can come back and say, look, I've known this person for a number of years, and this clearly is not in line with the character, and more importantly, the values that I know that they possess and they live into. Something went a little awry, and I know they're going to get the help they need to get back on track. That messaging right there allows someone to come in, still show support, acknowledge that the person wasn't on track, is getting the help they need to get back, and you're still supportive of that. Right. Because we all should have second chances, but it's going to take time and consistency. Consistency in action, consistency in our values and what we say.
So now let me ask you a question.
Yep.
I certainly have made mistakes in my business life, and I want you to forget them and forgive me. I'm human. I make mistakes. I've moved on. I'm a new guy. But I got a really hard time doing that with this guy. Why is that? Why is it that I have a hard time looking at somebody else, but I want them to forgive me? So, is that common?
No, it is. It is. In fact, I think it was Stephen Covey. Great quote. He said, we often judge others on their behavior, and we judge ourselves based on our intentions. Right? Think about that.
Yep.
Think about that. It's all in the perspective.
Because I'm a good guy.
Absolutely.
Jesse's not a good guy.
Right. Because we're seeing it in the mosaic snapshots that we see in the media, where we're looking at ourselves in the mirror every morning saying, yes, I've got good intention. Yes, I'm a good person. I'm trying to do the right thing here, but I'll rationalize my way through the day with decisions that may not align with our values. And that's why I've said through the entire month, this all drives back to the power of values.
And so now let's talk about what it is you do, right? Because if Jesse were to hire you, are you the spokesperson that gets up and tells his great story, or are you the guy that's advising him on what to do and how to do it? How do you plug yourself in in your profession?
Yeah, I mean, in this case, if it's that situation there, I'm not speaking on that person's behalf. That message has to come from them. I'm the one back
Nobody
behind.
Can speak for him.
Correct.
He's got to do that himself.
Correct. Because he put himself out there in a very visible way on the media platform, right, to beat that drum of what actually happened. He now has to carry that message through. Now, what I do, though, is I work behind the scenes with that person or with a business leader or owner or entrepreneur and help them work through, here's how we're going to say this. Here's how we're going to play this out. This is our plan. And that plan isn't a manipulative plan. This is actually looking at the situation we have in front of us. And again, like I said, owning what it is that you did, that's the first step. Ethically owning this, and then we'll work through how we want it to play out in the messaging and our actions and the timing, the consistency, all those pieces there.
There's something you write in the book. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently. That is written by Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
So let's be a little more careful about what we do and how we do it.
Exactly right. That's the
Exactly.
I walked
Even
right
though
into
it was a Warren Buffett statement, I'm taking it.
It was. Here's the reminder. Right, that I send out to all the Vills, all of your listeners, Joe, is that we're earning our reputation every single day. So what is it worth?
Yep. Let's take a break.
Great.
We come back. We are speaking with Mike Mooney, reputation crisis management expert. Jesse, if you listen, you better pick up his book and give him a call. Author of Reputation Shift.